What's going on, everyone? Welcome to today's video, the Barber Shop. You all know all the talk at the Barber Shop. Well, the salon, which is the equivalent for women. Don't know what y'all talk about in there. And who better to get a cut than none other than me. So today's video will not actually be about me cutting my hair. On the contrary, I'm going to talk about the current situation of my business startup. Let's get started. So, back in 2010, I purchased an old USPS box truck, Chevy box truck. And at the time, I was adamant about pursuing my education, obtaining a career. And now, fast forward to 2019, I'm back to where I started. So, that's not a problem. We gotta keep on going. What is the problem on the current situation is obtaining permits to operate legally. Well, naturally, in order to run a restaurant, you have to have a location. And what I went ahead and did was I started scouting for locations which could either provide me with a place, a location to sell from, or a location that would allow me to get permits on the food truck. One of the obstacles was a restroom that was easily accessible for employees. So, once again, I went ahead and looked at all the locations that were nearest to me, and it came down to two places. One of them had a park right next door, which really didn't seem realistic. And the second was actually the ideal location because it had a house, and it just so happened that the owner, landlord per se, was somebody that I knew. So I approached the landlord and I explained to him the situation. I told him that really and truly I actually didn't need the house, but what I did need was a restroom to utilize in the meantime to obtain permits. See, because a lot of places, they don't require that there be restrooms nearby. And here in this county, they do. So the landlord was actually very helpful. I explained to him that the first location where I was going to rent it for $200 a month, and he actually decided to leave me the location for $175, house included. I mean, at the time, he's an older gentleman, right? So at the time, I said to myself, man, this person really is trying to help me out. They want to see me succeed, just the way I want to see other people succeed. So, to show the person gratitude, I said, you know what? Let me go and fix up the house. And it actually needed a lot of work. A lot of people, many people told me, what are you doing that for? That's the landlord's obligation to do that. The thing that they didn't understand is that at $175 a month, I mean, it was a no-brainer, right? The responsibility would fall back on me. Obviously, I did need it to obtain permits, permission to operate there. So I went ahead and invested easily about $1,200 fixing that roof. So this was back in August. I had just gotten done finishing building this smoker, and you know, right away the first thing I did was start roofing this house. I didn't have any roofing experience whatsoever, and this person actually worked in construction all their lives, but since they were older, you know, I didn't expect them to get up on that roof and help me out. So I went ahead and obviously did the work myself, and I believe I finished at the end of September, which was just last month, or possibly at the beginning of September. I can't recall right now. Forgive me, guys. I'm trying to concentrate on cutting my hair and explain to you this whole situation as well. So, come whenever it was, which was recently, I told the owner, I said, you know, obviously we're going to need running water and electricity. So I gave the owner, $100 just so that they knew that every month, it was more of a deposit, every month that bill would be paid no matter what. So we went down to the company who provided water at this location, and according to what the company told me, the property has to be under the owner's name. So I approached the owner, and the owner tells me, "Oh, okay, well, obviously I don't have the money to do the title transfer. It's still under my mom's name. Can you go in there and possibly persuade them to connect the water? Let them know that she's an older woman. She's coming back from Austin, and we're gonna need to provide care for her. We need water, running water." So I went back to the military highway water supply, and they were already aware that the woman had been deceased. So that was one obstacle that I ran into. Which wasn't a problem, because I actually found out that there's a water well there already drilled. I was thinking that all I would need to do is hook up a water pump, and that would solve my water problem for the meantime, right? So the next situation was light. I'm not familiar with the whole process of starting up a light company, but obviously we needed a meter. The location did not have a meter, so I called AEP. I set up an appointment so that we could have a meter installed. AEP ran it past me and let me know that I would need to have the county come out and inspect the location prior to them installing the meter. So I went ahead and went to the county office where I'd get all that work done, and the county asked that I have a copy of the deed. It didn't have to be under my name, I just needed a copy. So I went to whichever department it was that handled copies of the title, and I found out that in order for them to provide the owner / me with a copy of the deed, that I'd need to take in proof that the taxes had been paid. So I went back to the owner and I asked him if he had that information. He says, "Look, Kyle, do whatever it takes for you to get whatever you need done." He gave me the green light. I went ahead and went to the tax office, and that's when I found out that the taxes actually hadn't been paid on the location since May. So the tax office referred me to the attorney's office, and according to what the attorney told me, that because the taxes hadn't been paid since May, that the owner was in line to get sued. So I went back to the owner's house, and obviously at this point, you can imagine how overwhelmed I felt. I mean, obviously I was a little bit excited, I suppose. So I go in there. Obviously I'm a very respectful person. The first thing I do is shake hands. I greet the owner and I let him know, "Mr. So-and-so, did you know that you're about to get sued?" Well, it flipped the switch on the owner, and he says, "That's none of your business. That's information that you shouldn't know." And I said, whoa, hold on. He's like, no, you're attacking me. He's like, "You know what? Pick up your gravel and take your stuff out of there." And I said, whoa, hold on. I'm not attacking you. I'm not even the person who's suing you. I'm just relaying the information because obviously you gave me the green light to find out what it is that I needed to get electricity turned on at the very least. I had already done the roof, I had already painted the house, and I was looking into getting permission so that I could start this business as soon as possible. Well, I had a fallout with the owner. He says, "I already knew that." Like, what? You already knew that? You already knew that you hadn't paid taxes, and here you are, allowing me to invest money, close to $1,200 into this roof, knowing very well that I needed these permits, and obviously you worked in construction all your life. You couldn't have even had the courtesy to let me know. And at that point, the $1,200 was insignificant. I didn't even care about the money at that point. What was more valuable to me? Figuring out what kind of person that I was dealing with, which is nothing new. It's nothing new, because all my life, all I've ever dealt with was people like that who took advantage of me, or who still take advantage of me to this day. And it's sad because, one would say, here you are, an educated person, and yet you allowed somebody to fool you that way. The thing about it is that I'll say this right now, and I'll say this many, many times. I'm the kind of person who wears my heart in my sleeve. So knowing that this person was pretty much the brother of a friend of the family, I almost felt that he was looking out for me. And I come to find out that obviously he wasn't looking out for me. He didn't even have the courtesy to let me know that the taxes weren't paid. There was no possible way that I was going to set up operations there. So I went ahead and went back to the county health inspector, and I asked him, this is the current situation. I informed him that this was the current situation with my food truck, and I ran into another roadblock. Even though there's going to be absolutely no cooking being done inside the food truck, it's solely a point of distribution, I still need a stainless steel vent and hood, a stainless steel refrigerator, and a stainless steel grill, which I priced out to be about $5,000. So here I am. I just finished investing possibly the only money that I had left after building this smoker and renovating this house to bring it up to date, to bring it up to expectations. And I'm at a dead end, I say to myself, like, how is it that, how can anybody get ahead in life if there's so many obstacles that you have to jump through in order to start something? So I tell my welder, which is, I like to say is my business partner, although that's another story. He hasn't done anything bad, by the way. It's another story that I'll cover later on. He's an introvert. He doesn't like me to talk about him too much. So out of respect, I'll go ahead and leave it at that. But I tell my welder, my business partner, my friend, which is one of my only friends, you can possibly say he's my only friend. And obviously he tells me, first of all, you had no business investing into that house or renovating that house, which obviously I already knew. It does fall back on the landlord. The only thing is that obviously I felt as if he was a parental figure, once again, wanting to see me get ahead in life. And at the monthly rate that he left me the rent at, how could I not do that at the very least to show gratitude? So my business partner tells me, why don't we just start selling illegally? And look, guys, one of the things that I've mentioned in the past already is that I strongly feel that everybody should be accountable for their own selves, for their own actions. And if you break the law is the law, and there's no getting around that. I wanna let you guys know that I try my best to follow the law. I'm not a rebel or anything like that. I'm just really trying to get ahead in life already. So right now, the situation I'm in is I'm pretty much going to have to sell illegally without a permit. So with that being said, I find myself in the current situation. The property is still under contract, although obviously I'm not getting any permits or permission to sell from there. So what's going to happen is I'm gonna have to sell illegally. I'm gonna have to raise the 5,000 plus to get the equipment for my food truck, to finally get permits. And even after getting my permits, I'm gonna have to find a new location. The thing I like about this current location is that it's located right on the highway. There's a good amount of traffic that passes through there. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is use it in the meantime as the place that I'll be, selling from. Once again, guys, I feel awful. I feel awful, even putting this out that I'm having to do things illegally. But if you guys were in my situation, wouldn't you guys do the same? Do anything that's required to maintain or obtain a steady source of income for your family? Because essentially that's what it falls down to. I mean, even right now, I still live with my parents, and I'm not embarrassed to say that. I'm very thankful to my parents because they provided a good foundation for me. All they've ever wanted to do was see me get ahead in life. And I think that's all I'll say for right now. My mom is the reason that I suppose I was so adamant to get educated. And even though education personally didn't work out for me, I still believe that it's very important for one to get educated. Although that's one of the things I will talk about later on. I believe that a lot of research has to go into education, or as far as what it is that you want to major in. Once again, I majored in business, and you think that having majored in business that I'd have all the answers to figure out my own current situation, but it's not like that. I believe that mistakes, learning from your mistakes counts for a lot more than actually educating yourself. It possibly will pay off later on when I'm actually putting it into not official, but I can't even recall the word right now, but long story short, when I'm actually putting it into use. But anyways, yeah, so that's the situation with the business currently. I plan to just go ahead and start selling like that without a permit, and hopefully by the end of the year I can go ahead and save the $5,000 that I need in order to get all the permits that I needed. One thing that I did want to mention is that the county actually allows fundraisers, and they allow 3 fundraisers a fiscal year. Sorry guys, I'm gonna go ahead and line up myself in the back. So here I am on my way back, and this video really wasn't too organized. I tried to let you all know as much as I can, like as far as the current situation, without losing you guys too much, because I actually purchased the food truck back in 2010. Except I'm not too sure if I've already said this. What happened was, like I said, I was adamant about obtaining a traditional career field, a traditional job in a career field, and I put it off. Here I am revisiting it, and in hindsight, I wish I had just tried it back then. Here we are set up. There's a jalapeno. Hey, jalapeno guy! Jalapeno guy! Say hi! Look at that nice blue smoke. And when I told you all that we need to support one another, obviously, I'm not asking for free handouts. Never would I ask for a free handout, because I do have a place to live, I do have food to eat, and it's just not needed. I really am trying to work to say that I worked for what I have. But I know from having struggled throughout this whole time that once I am in a position to help somebody else, without a doubt, without even a question, I would definitely do it. As a matter of fact, one of the ideas that I've always had, see, because the Rio Grande Valley is considered to be a location or an area of low economic status, and there's a lot of people who are trying to make it in life, who have brilliant ideas, except obviously they don't have the capital to start these businesses, to make these ideas happen. And that's what I want to do. I'm hoping that once I get my own self situated, that I can as well invest in other people's futures. So guys, that was a little bit about that. I don't feel that I did a good job of explaining to you guys, but I did the best I could. Granted that, here I am trying to fade myself up and talk to you all at the same time. My ideas, my thoughts were scattered, and I apologize for that. Please forgive me for that, guys. Once again, I'm gonna try my best to improve the communication and the video quality on these videos. But for the meantime, that's all I have, and that was that. At least I don't look like a Q-tip anymore. But anyways, guys, I want to thank you for joining me in this video, and until the next one, hopefully soon.